So here we go. So yeah, this video was supposed to go up like 2 weeks ago, and here it is, because I totally didn't get distracted with anything in the interim, and ended up uploading this video 2 weeks late. So if you still care, because this is like old news now, and if you don't, or whatever, enjoy. So apparently my last video that was filmed in the new setup was so popular with the person that video was about, they decided to stop on by the comment section of that video and say hello and leave a few brain droppings known as comments. I'm going to be taking a look at these comments, reading them and responding to them, which is exactly what I did with the tweets I read off from their Twitter feed, which that video was about. I read them verbatim and gave my thoughts about them after I read them, and you can't get a much more raw deal than that because it avoids misrepresentation and out of context taking. So, without further ado, here we go. And mind you, some of these are responses to other people, but the YouTube comment section lists everything linearly. So sometimes if they're in response to another person, it may not actually tag who that was in response to. Therefore, it just looks like it's another comment in a list of people's comments, and you lose track of if it's a response or not. So I just figured I'd tell you about that now and get it over with. Here we go. Steve Shives writes, Muse Reviews writes, someguy827, dude, you loved a comment hoping sexual assault allegations come out against me. No. I loved a comment that was a joke about how in our society today, sexual assault allegations come out about just anyone. Whether or not those allegations turn out to be true or false isn't the joke. The joke is that everyone is getting blamed for doing something fucked up in their past. And sometimes those allegations turn out to be true. Do you think the person that wrote that comment, or myself, hope something like that actually happened in your past to somebody? So then we have ammunition to throw at you as if we were tomato throwers in a peanut gallery? That was the kind of stuff I was talking about in my video. And that's the kind of shit I see here in that kind of sentiment. It's not only overreactionary, it shows that you judge people based on the most minimal things, for no reason. It's exactly the kind of thing I was talking about. Why should I give the slightest fuck what you think about me? You also didn't get the point of my tweets and misrepresented them. How? I read them verbatim, and I responded to them in kind. I never blamed anyone but myself. If you don't, by the way, give the slightest fuck about me or my video, and why did you bother leaving comments on it or acknowledging its existence in any way, shape, or form, but you did blame people. You threw the entire community of people who did ranting videos under the bus and acted like association with them due to the type of content they produced was the reason you had issues with managing your anger, which is disingenuous and untrue. I had issues with my own anger at that time, and I had sublimated it by hiding behind videos. It wasn't the video's fault. It was the fact that I was willingly choosing to not do anything about the issues I had outside of the videos. The videos aren't a therapy, but they're not a cause either. And that's what I see as an excuse a lot of people use. And then when called out, they say, more or less the same things you've said here, and it's disingenuosity. You may blame yourself now, but it was hard to tell from those tweets, and I still don't think you're doing anything other than saying you're blaming yourself now just because you've been kind of spotlit by a video that got barely over 1,000 hits. Who cares? So I don't know if these are in response to someone in particular or just linear comments, as I said earlier, but I'm going to read them anyway. If anyone made good points, I'd engage, but you came with a snarky approach from the start and clearly don't care about the issue enough to A, contact me first, or B, get your facts straight. You wanted drama, and I'm not here for it. Well, you're leaving comments on the video still, and you did this for about like 6 hours, so obviously you have some interest in the drama because at that point you're keeping it in perpetuity yourself. And snarky approach in my video, I don't know if you're referring to, or my comment, that really is kind of the thing that I do on the channel here. In person, this is what you get. In videos, you get this hostile fucking asshole, and that's not reality. That shit you say in the video, I mean, if you think that I'm living my life like that 24/7, you're out of your fucking mind, frankly. There's no way I could function like that. Where just this hostile, agitated dipshit 24/7. It's a face that I put on for a video, and I've been doing it for 10 years, you know. But for a time, there was a reality to that. You have to center yourself and ground your feet back down on earth and realize that the facade cannot become the person. There has to be a disconnect between the two. And then this ties back into what my commentary was in that video, that a lot of people tend to blame the fact that they have issues like that and do videos at the same time. They blame the videos. It's not. Then they later blame themselves and they realize how full of shit that is as an excuse, but we're off that now. My snarky approach does not mean that I have to contact you first, though, to do a video. I don't have to contact anyone to get their express consent unless it's concerning, like, copyrights or, you know, the fair use of video content or whatever, or audio content to create a video on any subject that I choose. It's my channel, and with it, I'll do whatever the hell I want, and video-wise, I'll make whatever the hell videos I want. It's my space to do what I want with the content I produce. I'm sorry you didn't like the video. I didn't really expect you to anyway, but, yeah. I don't know what else to tell you other than get over it and get my facts straight. I have my facts straight. I was subscribed to your channel actually for years until you started pulling the kind of stuff that I mentioned in my video, and then I pulled my subscription back and said, okay, if this is the direction you're going to go, if this is how you're going to treat your audience, yeah, I'm out of here. So, yeah. And as I said, again, it just seems like this one was in response to somebody, but on my screen it's not showing it that way. Yeah, he was just as wrong then. Content creators aren't going to make the same shit forever just because you like it. That's pandering. I made the choice to switch because doing reviews was more fun, and I saw the impact an old rant video of mine had on someone personally, and I decided to give it up. That's called... I guess there was more to it, but on my screen it cuts off there. So I guess that's called responsibility. I don't know. I don't know what it says, but on my screen it cuts off right there. So yeah, well, if that's more fun content for you to produce, then more power to you. I don't care. It's not content that I find interesting to see from you, but that's just me. I'm not going to tell you or enforce upon you that you need to make the content I would personally like to see. In fact, that kind of mentality I was also mentioning briefly in my video as something I think exists in perpetuity on YouTube that needs to stop as far as the powers that be at YouTube are concerned, where they want to enforce the kind of content people make by kind of enforcing a safe space mentality by that standard. Then they want to kind of push content that's edgy or more agitated like mine and other content creators' content off the site in general. They create kind of like a hug box mentality, and that's enforcing what people can say in their videos, and by that standard forcing what they can make. And I don't think that's fair. And even though I don't like your content anymore, I never said that you should pander to an audience, but just be mindful that, yeah, you did kind of throw your audience at the time that was getting you the hits under the bus. You could have worked it in your favor possibly by still continuing to do the rants and then kind of pushing more emphasis on what it is you do now. But instead you decided to just throw people under the damn bus. I was there for it. What do you want me to say? I mean, you want me to change history so it makes it more comfortable for you? You know, I think it's disgusting when people pander to an audience for too long, because it becomes disingenuous on the part of the content creator. As everyone who's subscribed to this channel knows, I made content about Onision and his insanity here for years. And after a while, it became clear to me that I was pandering and that I was just trying to suit people's interest in seeing me get hostile and agitated over a subject I truthfully at that point had no more interest in. So when it comes down to things like that, I get it, but that's not what I was saying. So wherever you got that was ridiculous. I never said pander to an audience. Be mindful of what your audience is and try not to alienate that audience. The fact I have to explain this is kind of sad. And then I don't know if there's anyone, let's see. No, I don't see any more comments by him. So this is the last one. And then finally he goes, I did watch it. He was wrong most of the time and lied about a good bit of the other stuff. Waste of my time. Well, this comment on the video here is from 3 hours ago, and the other ones were from about a couple hours before. So for about the span of like 6 hours earlier today, you were posting these comments. If it was such a waste of your time, why bother that much of your day with it? I mean, maybe if it's an off day for you from whatever you do for a living, then okay, whatever. I can fuck off in that regard. It's understandable. But if you say something is a waste of your time and then dedicate, hours of your day to, commenting on what you're saying is a waste of your time, it doesn't really suit the whole waste of your time mentality, does it? Not really. And what was it that I lied about? If you're going to accuse somebody of lying about something that they've put in their video, then you need to back that up with some kind of evidence. Otherwise, it just seems like you're throwing that in there to try to make me look like shit because you're butthurt I made a video about you. I apologize for the hurtness of your ass, but I also don't really care. I didn't really expect you to watch it, but okay. And I certainly didn't expect you to tell me that watching it yourself was a waste of your time and then dedicate like half a day to commenting in the comment section about how much of a waste of your time it was. But yeah, I got a blip up here. I wonder if that's another comment. Let's see. No, it's just a comment from somebody else, so not from this guy. But anyway, yeah, if I misrepresented your comments here, or I took them out of context, please let me know. Even though I read them verbatim and responded to them in kind exactly the way that I did to your tweets. So, yeah. That's really all I got for this video, guys. So until next time, and then future when I have the setup back again, take it easy. See you on the flip side.